my God, guys! Oh no! Sell all your stocks! Run! Buy gold now! Welcome back, Strongman Personal Finance. We gotta absolutely destroy, roast, and eviscerate this massive clown called Nomad Capitalist. Basically, he's a guy with glasses, so he's smart, and he says you should give up your citizenship and move to where you're treated best. Because if you speak English and you were born and raised in the United States, the richest, most powerful country in the world, you should just leave and go move to Eritrea, bro. So this clown has gone too far, okay? Basically, his whole grift is, he can provide all the services you need. You want to move overseas? America's the worst country in the world. Oh my God, it's worse than Iraq. It's worse than Afghanistan. If you want to move overseas, well, he knows everything about how to move over and how to renounce your frickin' citizenship. Do not renounce your citizenship. But anyway, in this video, he says U.S. Treasuries are no longer safe. Now, before I even react to the video, the risk-free rate, okay? Basically, everything is based off of the risk-free rate. The risk-free rate is the rate you could get risk-free, okay? Many analysts will use the 10-year yield. This is Treasuries, U.S. Treasuries. This is what he's talking about here. The risk-free rate when valuing the markets. Basically, what's more risky? Let's say you lend a crackhead money. Give him $100. Is he probably going to give it back to you? No, he's probably not. What's more risky, the crackhead or the United States government, the most powerful government in the most powerful nation in the freaking world? Probably in human history. Who's more likely to pay you back? The government. That's right, the U.S. government. Who's more likely to pay you back? McDonald's or the U.S. government? U.S. government. Yes, the U.S. government has the authority, the power to basically tax the entire freaking United States. Okay, it is the expression of America's will. It has sovereign power. Okay, the United States, risk-free. It's risk-free. You put money in treasuries. Yeah, you may lose to inflation. There's risks. There's interest rate risk. There's all sorts of risks. But you'll get your money back, most likely. Okay, there's a very, 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 very good chance you're getting your money back. So if everybody bases the risk-free rate off of U.S. Treasuries, and he says they're no longer safe, a lot of things are about to drop because discount rates are going to go up. And when discount rates go up, everything goes down, right? Except Tesla.
For years, investors figured the United States would be the safest place to park their money, and the U.S. government would always be trustworthy to pay them back. But a new report says that's changing, and that U.S. Treasuries are not as safe as they used to be.
Go where you're treated best. So a new report said that U.S. Treasuries are not safe. I sat down. I smoked a couple doobies, and I took a couple shots. I wrote a report, and I said U.S. Treasuries aren't safe, so they're not safe, bro.
This is not from the Crackpot News Service or some fringe source. This is from Reuters. The headline is, U.S. Treasuries not the safe bet they once were, research says.
Oh, the world-famous line, research says. Man, that's what I'm going to say. Research says, give Strongman money for sponsored videos, buy Strongman's book, Stop Being a Broke Loser, and pay me money for one-on-one tutoring and accounting. Yeah, that's right. Research says.
We're going to go through the article, and I'm going to tell you why I think this is so important for you and the change that you need to make if you want to protect your wealth as the world changes. So, the article begins, no safer than a bund, or a gilt, or an oat. Long touted as hands down the world's safe haven securities, the behavior of U.S. Treasuries during and after the COVID-19 pandemic calls that label into question, suggesting they are little different from the debt issued by the likes of Germany, Britain, France, or even big corporations.
Okay, America is by far the largest economy in the world. By freaking far. Okay, the next one behind us is China. But there are trillions of dollars of GDP behind us. Okay? And the freaking the debt to GDP ratio. So, a big reason that, U.S., I'm sure he'll get into this. U.S. debt, oh my God, it's so high. Well, there's other countries that have even higher debts. Venezuela, Greece, Japan. Their governments haven't imploded yet, okay? Just because we have a high debt to GDP ratio doesn't mean it's the end of the world. As a matter of fact, if you look at federal outlays, interest as a percentage of gross domestic product, Oh, the numbers, it looks like we're going up. We're paying way more interest as a percentage of GDP. As of 2023, 2.37% of our national income went to pay interest on the federal government debt. 2.37%. Is that a lot? I mean, the number's big, but the percentage is not. Everything's relative. You should look at things in terms of percentages, okay? We can easily afford to service the debt. And oh, by the way, we're cutting rates. Crazy. Wonder what's going to happen to interest rates.
Now, the first thing I see here is when most people in a country like the United States would hear, okay, treasuries aren't safe anymore. Well, sure, I'll just go to Germany or Britain or France. And that's the wrong way to think. I have bank accounts, for example, all around the world. I do what we talk about here. And I was opening one of the bank accounts the other day. I'm looking at government debt they can offer me in Bahrain, in Oman, in Kuwait. You got some pretty high yielding debt in comparison to these countries available. And I think you want to...
Oh my God. So he said they have high yielding debt. Okay, here's how basic finance works. I'm not even a finance major. I understand this. The more risky a loan, the higher the interest rate. So if Bahrain or Eritrea or whatever he freaking said, has high interest rates, it's because it's more risky. The market has determined that it's more freaking risky. Okay, do you see? So I get high rates. You could lend tattooed chef money, and you get a high rate. But you're lending tattooed chef money. There's a reason that it has a high rate. It's because it's more risky. But it has high rates, so it's better.
To expand your horizons. Who do I trust to pay me back more? Legacy brand, high-tax France with all their financial problems? Or a country where they believe in hard work? Get to it. You want to come here? Yeah, get to work. We're moving. We're going in the right direction. Who do I...
That's all you got to do. It's all about just a subjective measure of who believes in hard work more. I mean, I'm sure there's people in Eritrea. I'm just picking on Eritrea. Eritrea, people believe in hard work there. Yeah, I would rather trust France to pay me back than Eritrea. And on top of that, you have currency risk. That's right. Recently, it seems like everybody's been fleeing to the dollar. Okay, we had crisis, drama. Everybody fled to the freaking dollar. The invasion in Ukraine. Everybody started piling into the dollar because it's a safe haven, okay? If the U.S. was risky, why would everybody start scooping up dollars in treasuries as fast as they freaking could? That's where they're parking their money to keep it safe, dorks. Oh, but it's good. Eritrea has higher yields, so you're wrong, strong man. This guy's insane, dude.
I trust to pay me back more. Sure, the credit rating is important. I also look at the culture rating. A culture like the US, Germany, Britain, and France, the alternatives that people look at for each other because they're in the Western mindset, I trust them less. And increasingly...
Oh, I mean, the West is pretty degenerate. I'm not going to argue with that. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to pay you back, okay? It doesn't make... Eritrea's got traditional values. Even though their government's collapsed 3 times in the last 5 years, but they have traditional values. Their culture's better. So I'm going to put money in Eritrean dinars, whatever their currency is.
Others are too. That's the key finding of new research presented at the Kansas City Fed's annual research conference in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. This is the kind of stuff that Danielle DiMartino Booth talked about this year at Nomad Capital.
Grifter. Guaranteed she's a grifter. She's like a panic, P-I-M-P.
Live. It's our big 4-day annual event with lots of global citizenship R&D, amazing people from all around the world, and great entertainment. Get on the waiting list at nomadcapitalist.com/live. You will hear insights like what she talked about on this. It was pretty rousing, but
pretty arousing? Is that what he said? Anyway, let's see what the research says. What did the research say? Besides, give me all your money.
Examines a shift in investor behavior in that period that raises questions about the exorbitant privilege the U.S. has long enjoyed to borrow broadly on the global market, even as the federal budget gaps grow even wider. Even right-wing politicians have been quoted saying, yeah, deficits don't matter. Just, deficit spend. Who cares? Just run up the debt, run it up. Trillions, 30 trillion, 35 trillion. Unfunded liabilities over 100 trillion when you add that in. What a great way to say it, exorbitant.
Very powerful government, richest nation in the world. Interest outlays as a percentage of GDP, very low. Interest rates coming down again. No defaults. Okay.
Privilege that one country was able to take advantage of that system. And what a great way to say it, exorbitant privilege. One country took advantage. Now, you can go back and you can say the historical reasons, that's fine. I don't think those historical reasons apply anymore. And so it's like any great marketing campaign. I always show you Coca-Cola. Where is the Coca-Cola? We always have the Coca-Cola. You know the Coca-Cola red, you know the Coca-Cola ribbon logo. That
is the soyest can of Coke. Why is that thing so narrow? He probably uses it to shove it up into dark cavities.
Brand. There's a reason we're not stocking the salt cola they have here. There's a reason we're not stocking the RC cola. People like the brand. Maybe there's a better cola out there that people aren't discovering because Coca-Cola pushed them off the shelf. They use their enormous heft to make sure the superior cola never saw the light. I don't know, but it's quite possible. And would you buy the superior cola from a brand you've never heard of? No. And that's the exorbitant privilege that the U.S. government used. But what do we keep seeing? Every year we see more articles that people are waking up. I was just talking about the UK and all the crazy new taxes this new government in the UK wants to have. And
they've got crazy taxes, so you don't lend the government money because even though they've always paid it back and interest rates are low, which implies the market thinks it's not risky, but they got new taxes. Yeah, random point that has no substance.
And how people are leaving. They say, oh, no one's really going to leave. People are leaving. From everyday millionaires to billionaires are leaving the UK. Why?
Everybody's leaving. See, the country's population is going to be zero.
Stated reason, mainstream media news. They know they have more options than the last time the left wing was coming into power wanting to soak their wealth. And now people realize the exorbitant privilege isn't really backed up by a lot in the US anymore because they can go to a lot of places.
Yeah, why are we talking about the UK? I thought we were talking about US Treasuries that are the basis of the risk-free rate.
Who manage their financial affairs much better than the U.S. government. Wait a second. Why? Because something good happened in 1952 are we giving these guys a better deal than these guys who are doing it right today? I mean, what do they tell you in relationships? Relationships are about what's the person doing for you now. If a person is abusive to you now in your relationship, that's what's happening now, and that's what has to be dealt with. Oh, but it never happened before. You can only rely on the past so much.
How is the Treasuries abusive? I lend the government money, they pay me interest, and then I get my principal back at the end. I don't see how I'm getting abused. I have a money market account, a federal money market account. I get my interest payments every month, and I can pull money out of it. Oh my God, I'm being abused.
And the U.S. has used this exorbitant privilege, and so it's catching up. Exactly the kind of thing we've been talking to you about for a dozen years now. A timely question in the article.
Oh, you're so wise. Thank you, Nomad Capitalist. I'm selling all my treasuries and buying Eritrean dinar bonds.
Continues, given growing deficits are seen as a near certainty regardless of who becomes the next U.S. president. Another thing you've heard from me and many other people. Doesn't matter who wins. We just have to stand as good gun-toting patriots and make sure we vote for Donald Trump. And then who have to vote? We have to vote for, and then don't worry, everything will be solved. It'll be solved because you feel better that the person you voted for won. Listen, I don't know Trump. I don't know Kamala. Crazy.
Does anybody find that voice extremely cringe?
Kamala, I don't know these people.
That's probably his when he's making his O face. Oh yeah, oh baby, oh wait a minute. Are you a ladyboy? Oh no.
What I do know is a former U.S. citizen, not my circus, not my monkeys anymore. Don't really care. Doesn't really bother me. They're not coming and asking me for more taxes. That I can tell you. I don't understand being in my predicament, looking at the U.S. or looking.
Just leave America. It's so easy. Just leave. It's easy.
Any of these high tax countries from afar, the idea that if only the right wing gets in charge. By the way, I didn't live in the United States. The right wing is more likely, in my opinion, to tax people who don't live in the United States than the left wing. I genuinely believe. You can say whatever you want about the rest of her policies. Hillary Clinton would have been better for American expats with wealth than Donald Trump. Because Hillary Clinton's like, our country's not so great. Live somewhere else if you want. Who cares? We're not going to treat you any differently. The right wing does. Not just in the U.S.
Oh, trust me. Every wing will come for your money if they really freaking want it. It doesn't matter.
Probably everywhere. So it doesn't matter who gets elected. And it certainly doesn't matter about reducing the deficit. Everybody gets in and they think they're going to change Washington, or they're going to change, the country. They're not. It's a naivete. The machine is built. And this is why I've told you for years. The U.S. has to turn, it cannot turn in a dime. It turns extremely slowly. So once things start going in the wrong direction, it's extremely hard to turn that ship around.
Okay, I'm not seeing how treasuries are, about to go to zero. I don't understand. Okay, you're just saying like random phrases that mean nothing, that have no substance. Oh, people are leaving UK, and the UK passed some new taxes, so U.S. treasuries are not safe. Compared to what? Iraqi dinars? Whatever their freaking currency. I don't know what their currency is. I don't care. This guy's ridiculous.
If something ever went poorly in Liechtenstein, you just boop, you turn the thing right around. That's why we've talked a lot about small countries. I think small countries, they're often forced, not all of them by any means, But there's plenty of good ones where they're forced to have fiscal discipline. Why? They don't have the exorbitant privilege. So they just run.
Yeah, when Liechtenstein has financial issues, they just snap their fingers and they go away. I mean, I'd rather lend money to a country with 100 people in it than a country with 330 million, 340 million people with the most powerful military in the world and the greatest wealth in the world. And yeah, why would I lend to America when I could lend to Liechtenstein?
Their affairs properly. They also are forced to give their citizens a certain amount of greater freedom. There are also certain, this is why you want to have residence and citizenship in some of these smaller countries that no one's ever heard of, because they're not used to having power and privilege. And so therefore the entire ethos of how they operate is different, whether it's financial, whether it's for your personal freedoms. Especially if you're an American, you will feel a difference. We host Nomad Capitalist live in Malaysia.
You'll feel it, guys. It'll be in the air. That's right.
The smallest country, it's about 35 million people. People come to Kuala Lumpur like, oh my God, I just feel more free. Oh, this feels different.
You'll feel freer in Kuala Lumpur, so you should lend Koala Lumpur all your money. You should put money in Koala Currency. That's right. Yeah, don't. I can see why treasuries are risky, because you feel more free in Kuala Lumpur.
Feel the difference when you go to a country that does not have the power and the privilege. It's not giving you the boost you think it is. New York University's Roberto Gomez Cram, London Business School's Howard Kung, and
Howard Kung and Roberto Gomez Cram and Hanno Lustig, man.
Stanford's Hanno Lustig also threw into question the assertion that the Treasury market was dysfunctional in that period, as asserted by the Fed when it launched its massive bond buying, or just rationally pricing the risk of a massive unfunded spending shock, then being prepared in response to the health emergency. The researchers looked at the behavior of the Treasury securities during the pandemic shutdown, when yields shot higher, not just for U.S. debt, but for bonds issued by nations around the globe. They found that investors did not, as they had during previous episodes of global financial stress, pile into Treasuries and drive up their value. Instead, investors marked down Treasuries much as they did for bonds from other countries. Meanwhile, the Fed responded to the spike in U.S. Treasury yields as if it were a result of market dislocation. It could have been anything we did. They said, buying up bonds to bring back order to the world, usually most liquid debt market, as they had during the global financial crisis. And so the article goes on.
So, okay, U.S. Treasury yields went up, and so did the rest of the world, but probably more, because the U.S. is still the risk-free rate. So I still don't understand. Wonder what Liechtenstein treasuries did.
And of course, some folks at the U.S. Treasury disagree, et cetera, et cetera. You can find that on Reuters or on Yahoo Finance. Here's the one thing that I look at from the Nomad Capitalist perspective. If you buy Treasuries, you don't get anything in return. Now, just give me a second to explain. You can go to
Yeah, you don't get interest back and you don't get your principal back. That's right.
Other countries around the world. You can go to St. Lucia and you can buy government debt. They'll give you citizenship. There's a country most people don't think about a lot. I'm a St. Lucian citizen. I go places. You know what the remark is when I go to some places? I don't travel to a lot of countries with that passport. When I do, oh, wow.
That's how desperate they are for your freaking money. They're going to give you citizenship because they need money so freaking badly. That's actually terrifying to me. Oh, but you can get citizenship if you give this random island money. Man.
St. Lucia, I don't see that very much. How are things on the island? Why did you come here? Don't you like your island? Like, ha ha ha, come on, that's great. Not so much when you're coming in a passport where it's like, oh yeah, you guys are a pain in the butt. Yeah, we deal with your people. We deal with your embassy. You guys are a bunch of jerks. Now, who cares to a certain extent? But I'll tell you what, when it comes to doing business in an increasingly multipolar world, I'll take being St. Lucian over being American, because the U.S. is going and pissing people off. And you're going to have fewer opportunities. You already do when it comes to banking and brokerage and investments around the world. You've got a lot fewer opportunities.
What? Okay, we have the most powerful military in the world. We have a huge network of alliances. If there's a global war, the U.S. is between two oceans. Okay, we're probably, out of all the countries, if we have a massive global war, you're probably safest in the United States, okay? And you got me, strong man, protecting you, so you'll be even more safe, okay? Sit back and relax, instead of fleeing to whatever he said, Kuala Lumpur or whatever island, St. Lucian he's going to go to.
Crypto too. What happens when your business has fewer opportunities? So you can go to St.
What did you say about crypto? Hold on a minute.
I'll take being St. Lucian over being American, because the U.S. is going and pissing people off. And you're going to have fewer opportunities. You already do when it comes to banking and brokerage and investments around the world. You've got a lot fewer opportunities. Crypto too. What happens when your business has fewer opportunities? So you can go to St. Lucia.
I don't know. Is he shilling crypto? Oh my God. I don't understand what his point was.
You can go to Jordan. Okay, that's not a very good passport, but you can go to plenty of countries. You can get citizenship. And if not citizenship, you can get a resident.
You can get citizenship in poopy ass fart land. Oh man, oh, what a deal!
Residence permit, where you can go and live in that country. Some of those countries are tax friendly. I bought Armenian government debt at one point. You can get a residence permit by doing that. I'll tell you what.
Do you see they're giving citizenship and residency if you lend the government money. They're desperate. Okay, that's not a good sign.
In some ways, it has been a more open country. It's not the most tax-friendly country, but in some, listen, there could be a situation in the world when, like, moving to Armenia would be the thing to do. Now, I'm not saying that's the place that you have to go, but by the way, I got paid pretty well for owning that government debt. And I did get paid. I just checked.
Yeah, you get paid in probably garbage currency that massively devalues against the dollar. Oh, I'm gonna go to America and flash out my Armenian, Armenars. Yeah, oh, how much can I get? Can I get McDonald's with an Armenar with 1,000 Armenars? Maybe. Maybe a cone.
The bank statement not that long ago just dropped right back in there. Bonds matured. Here's your money with interest. By the way, the currency also dramatically appreciated against the US dollars that I'd converted to buy those DRAM-denominated bonds.
Well, I don't believe that, but whatever. So basically he said, well, so you lend the government money, and then they pay you interest, and then you get the principal back at the end, because treasuries don't do that? I'm confused.
There are countries in Asia that will give you residence permits that are tax-friendly if you buy their debt, also if you buy their equities. And so you buy U.S. treasuries, you're buying the exorbitant privilege, you're buying this story from yesteryear where they're more secure. Even again, the people criticizing them are like, oh, well, the alternative is France. No, the alternative is everything else in the world. If you're buying hundreds of millions of dollars of treasury, if you're institutional, obviously that's not the, you're not going to go and buy your little $20,000 in Armenian debt to get a residence permit. But it wouldn't be the worst thing if you have a lot of money in treasuries or money markets. And this is not financial advice by any means, but if you figure out, hey, how much of my money would I carve off and put it in some other countries, I could get residence and citizenship privileges. And hey, if stuff got bad enough here because this exorbitant privilege became unraveled and the government had less.
Do not lend a crap hole country money so you can get citizenship in a crap hole country. That is a huge red flag.
Power, and it was less well off, and that trickled down to the people, and something bad happened. There was talk, one report in Canada, civil unrest. All this stuff cascades. Wouldn't it be nice to have a place to go? What if you just peeled off some of your treasury positions, some of your bank accounts, some of your money market accounts, and just put it in some debt somewhere else where you got something in exchange for it? And
take money out of your bank account and lend it to Eritrea. This can't be real. This is crazy, dude.
What I think is, the other issue we've talked about for a couple of years now is the U.S. government sanctions more than half of low and middle income countries. It is becoming a growing trend in Western countries.
So my treasury, my money market's going to zero? I'm trying to understand the connection here, nomad capitalist.
To go after people that the government doesn't agree with, go after people who aren't part of the agenda, threaten to cancel the passport, threaten to take their stuff. It has happened in some legacy brand Western countries. Expropriation in a country like the United States, it's a lot higher risk than you think. Now, I get the average person thinks it's a zero risk. So I'm not saying it's the highest risk ever. But you know what's not as high a risk as you think? Expropriation in other countries. Yeah, the UAE has enough money. They don't need to take your...
Look, I'm not saying it's impossible. But I would say the UAE is more likely to expropriate your freaking money than the United States of America. This is ridiculous, okay? And trust me, if the U.S. government needs money, they're not coming for your broke butt. They're going for titans of industry. Billionaires. God, what a clown.
Your little bonds. Even like Nicaragua, for all their problems. You know the difference between Nicaragua and all the crazy stuff that happened back in the last century and what's happening now? All right, fine, let these foreigners come and buy our stuff. Now, if you're a citizen there, if you're from there, if you're in politics, always dicey. Let the foreigners come and buy our stuff. People don't want to do, Turkey as a citizenship by investment program. You get a passport of a country that wants...
Turkey is like hyperinflation.
Wants to be in BRICS. Of a country that is different, that has different relationships, that have different opportunities. You get a passport, all you got to do is buy an apartment. Oh, what if they come and take my apartment? Yeah, okay, like Erdogan, I think he's got better things to do than come and take your little $400,000 two-bedroom apartment, okay?
Yeah, if you're a foreigner in a random country, they got better things to do than take your... These are the lamest excuses. He's literally saying that if you go to Armenia or UAE or some random country, you're more likely to get your money stolen by the government, from the United States as a U.S. citizen, than you are in some random country, some third world country. Are you smoking crack? This is insanity. But then again, I'm not surprised. This is on YouTube.
Okay, like with all due respect. And so I think that, there's this whole thought that feeds into the privilege. The U.S. will never take your stuff, and the other countries always will. That's not really the case. Maybe it's, a couple percentage point risk here and a couple percentage point risk there. And so when Warren Buffett says don't diversify, diversification means ignorance. You know what? Who among us knows which country is going to go out and do something stupid next, raise taxes or make who knows what they could do.
Yeah, because Eritrea won't raise taxes.
Geographical diversification to different countries means your money benefits from different laws. And I think that what this article is saying is people are realizing they're not getting the returns for the privilege the U.S. Treasuries had because they're not performing as well as they should have and as they used to. And the whole narrative is kind of coming apart.
Even though the whole world fled to them when Russia invaded Ukraine. Wonder why that is.
I'm not happy or unhappy about that, but the research says that's the case, and so therefore I should react. Because my own wealth, my own success, my own family is more important than my loyalty to a government that somehow...
Well, I mean, you know you can buy foreign bonds without, like, renouncing your citizenship. You can buy a total world bond index. I think, what is it, BNDW or something like that. I don't know if it's hedged or not, though. Currency hedged. Or you could buy a total world index like I do. Oh my god, I'm exposed to every publicly traded stock in the world, basically. But different currencies. Oh my god. But no, you gotta literally buy bonds directly from Eritrea so you can get citizenship in Eritrea. So if the US pisses somebody off or raises taxes, well, you need to leave America and go move to Eritrea.
Tries to tell me they did something for me. I did things for me. You did things for yourself. Maybe you went to their schools, maybe you drive on the road. So does everybody else. Somehow you came out on top, and now they're not giving you the deal they used to. Your investment is not as well protected. It is not as... Just read the research. And what I'm saying is, maybe you...
Read the research, bro! Become a client of Nomad Capitalist, bro! Look at me and AI girls that I would never be able to clap because I'm a clown. Oh, yeah! What a freaking airhead, okay? This is the most ridiculous thing. I don't see any issues with U.S. Treasuries. Maybe not financial advice, but I would personally rather lend money to the U.S. government than to Armenia or Eritrea. Call me freaking crazy, okay? This is the biggest clown I've ever freaking seen, but I'm sure he's a multi-billionaire because YouTube, so... Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See the pinned comments below. I do sponsored videos. Check out my book and check out my tutoring offer. Have a wonderful, delicious day. Cheers.